Good afternoon, traders. This is Coach Alex, and we've gotten a lot of requests on how you set up your charts, and we'd like to show you step by step. So, regardless of what platform you use, and we happen to be using NinjaTrader, you could start from scratch and set up exactly the indicators and the time frames that we use. Okay, so let's start. And again, when you look at everything that we do, let's get this down here. We have 6 basic charts. So we start with the 60-minute chart. Let's go to the indicators that we have. So this is 1 bar equals 60 minutes. And you change it by here. You can put the time, the contract. This is December 23. You can change any number of minutes. We're using, again, the first one is 60 minutes. So you go right click in that chart and go to indicators. And they're already in there, but you scroll down. Every system and platform has their own location. We use SMA. You see it right there? So you click on SMA, double click. You can add it twice. The first one, you're going to set your properties. Mainly two things you're only concerned with. The period, which is 20 period. So there's a 20 period simple moving average. And you want to calculate it on each tick. Now I tend to use the simple moving average color here, Dodger blue. You can change it to anything you want. You see that? You click on it once and you can put any color. If you want to be consistent with what we have, it's Dodger blue. The next one is seashell. That is the 5 period moving average. Calculates on each tick and the color is seashell. That's all you need to determine the trend on the 60-minute chart. And as you can see, in this case, the 5 period moving average is below the 20, so it's a downtrend. All right, let's get rid of that. That's the first one that we use. All right, here's another one, and we'll duplicate this so we can work with it. It's the 15-minute chart. So we have two different time periods. We'll get rid of this in just a second. This is a drawing to show support, where they're buying, where they're selling. All right, let's go to the 15-minute chart and two indicators again. So right click in this space and go to indicators. What do you think you're going to do? You're going to do the same thing we just did with the other one. Scroll down to SMA, right? Simple moving average. You double click it, it comes into the configured window. Same thing, 20 period on each tick. The other one, 5 period on each tick. The colors, again, same thing as before, right? Seashell and Dodger blue. Maybe we'll do Met orange next time. All right, and that again tells you 5 period moving average is the white one. It moves faster. If it's below it, it's a downtrend. If it's above it. All right, so we have two done already. Might as well go to the third one, top left, which is the 2-minute chart. And the reason we do that is because then we use a pivot. Not so much the 5 and 20 period moving average. So let's go right away to all the different indicators we have on this. We have the most. The first one, as you could see, which bands the price, is the Bollinger Band. You go to the indicator, drop down to Bollinger, double click it, and it installs in the configured. Now here's what we do. We set our parameters on the Bollinger Band to 20 periods, like a moving average. So it's 20 bars it's evaluating, and we have standard deviation, a mathematical term of tendency, central tendency, right? How far away it is from a mean. 2.5 is the setting. Calculate it on each tick. We label it Bollinger, and you can see that we have an upper band, which I have as lawn green, not Lorne green, and we have a width of 1. You can actually make these things thicker. All right, a middle band, which is dark gray. All right, 1 value is the width, and a lower band, goldenrod, 1. So that becomes the Bollinger Band. Then this is the Hull Moving Average, HULL, named after the guy who invented it, John T. Hull. So someplace you might see JTH. So you scroll down here, and it says, where is it? HMA, or Hull Moving Average. JTHMA, or JTH. Different ways. Just look for it in the platform you have. Again, we're using NinjaTrader. So there, you double click on it, it installs in the configured. 21 period is the time frame. And again, on each tick, and this one, only one plot, which is yellow. And that's the very fast moving average. Okay, stochastics. All right, in the middle window, below the price level, we have stochastics. Overbought, oversold is what we use them for. And again, 2-minute chart is the data feed. Stochastics, we set, and here's where some other platforms, TradeStation and all that, might be different. So if you want the exact thing, you're going to have to use NinjaTrader. Others might delay the turn a little bit. Still, they're going to show support and resistance. So the parameters on this one, period D is 3, period K, right, the accelerant thing, the period is 14 periods, and it smooths the turns so it doesn't become too erratic. And the input series here again is a 2-minute chart, a 2-minute data point, and we calculate this on each tick. And you can see the lines lower is this dark cyan, right? On the stochastics down here, right? On the lines. The upper line, again, dark cyan. Now the plots, remember, stochastic plots. The D level is red, or here, that is crimson. We give it a width of 2. It's a little thicker than the other ones, right? So that's the red line coming down and trailing the faster hay line. All right, here's the hay plot. Everybody see, that's called teal. And you want the ones that I do, that's what I have. Can you make it blue? Yes, you can. You can do whatever your little heart desires to make it something that's successful. Average true range. We want to see how much the market moves every 2 minutes. That's what this one is, since it's plotted on a 2-minute chart. Okay, the ATR. Where is it? Again, in your data box here. ATR, you double click it, it appears here, and now you can set the properties. The period is 10 periods. Well, think about it. 2-minute chart, 10 periods, that's 20 minutes of data we are plotting for average range. We can see an abnormality or not. Okay, and that's all we're doing is plotting it with this color, dark cyan. Okay, everybody got that? Hope I'm not going too fast for you. The average, you can always pause this, guess what? Can't pause me in real life, but you can do it this way. So that's the average true range. And that appears, you notice, the scale is on the right side, and each one gets plotted in a different area. All right? Do you see that? And they spread them out over panels. This one is the third panel down here. Panels are like little windows within a window. Okay. Okay. We're now going to the parabolic. I use that as a trailing stop sometimes. A lot of people like to look at Wells Wilder's parabolic. So same thing. You scroll down. These are all canned indicators. Here's the parabolic, right? Stop and reverse. It's just trailing stops. It's always in the market. So if it goes through it on the upside, it's a buy signal. The stop will be below. Here's what we do. Acceleration factor, again, if you're really interested, read Wells Wilder's book. It was out 100 years ago, I guess. 0.02. The maximum is zero point 0.2. Now, 0.02, remember, it can go 10 times as fast. And each step is 2. So after it goes step by step, it follows the trend. It accelerates the more that the trend moves. Now, this one is calculated on the price change. In a fast market, it's the same thing. All right. And that's it. We give it a color of goldenrod. All right. That's done. And now you got your pivots. All right. Pivots are down here, right there. Double click, and there you get your pivots. A little more complicated. The pivot range is daily. So even though it's on a 2-minute chart, all right, just don't get too confused. It's based on a daily price because the daily determines the high, low, and close determines your daily pivot. So this is going to be based on the daily, but plotted on a 2-minute. The width is 20. Input series, okay. On bar close, you're doing this one. All right. On bar close, and here's your plots. All right, you got that, guys? P is the price pivot or the daily pivot. And that's right here. It's a horizontal line and it's called orange red. Orange red, and there it is up there. You see that? That's the daily pivot. Everything else is plotted off of that. R1 is the resistance level 1, Dodger blue. Resistance level 2 is Dodger blue. You can tell the difference because they're far apart. You don't have to worry. And the same thing there. Support 1 is crimson. S2, crimson. S3 is crimson. Now, again, once you do all of this and you hit OK, it sets it up. And always remember to save your work. The last thing I put on here is called a bar timer. You see that? It tells you when you're looking at the last bar, how many seconds it has until it changes. So you know when it's going to come up. In other words, at the end of 2 minutes. So once you've got this, the bar changer, right? And where do you think you find it? Alphabetical order on bar timer, I should say. Bar timer right there. And once you got it, you can change it on each tick and it goes into the right side. And now you're okay. Click OK, right? And there's everything you need. A lot on the 2-minute chart. All right, let's go. And you notice we only did one. So now let's go to the 20 range chart. This tells you each bar only changes when the range has gone beyond 20 ticks. Why? Well, because if you do a trade and immediately you're down 20 ticks, you don't feel too good. This measures that. So what do? Go to indicators, and you see we have Bollinger Bands. You don't need them all the time, but if you want them, put them in there. HMA, whole moving average, you know how to do that, 21 points, right? Stochastics, 3, 14, and 3. the net change display. Okay, it shows you up there. You see that? The market's down 90 ticks. So what you do is you fill that out. It does it in points on a price change, and you are set with this indicator. Okay, Bollinger HMA stochastic net change. On the right, the tick chart, 133 tick chart. Every time 133 trades take place, it changes. All right, so let's look at the indicators based on that. The first one is the simple moving average. Well, it's a little different than the simple moving that we used for the other thing, right? Remember? The other one's 5 and 20. This one, we're going to use a 200 period SMA. Again, you go down there, you get the SMA, right? Okay. You can use a 200 period simple moving average. And in this case, the color is chartreuse. That's this color here. That's the 200 simple. That's the bigger, slower moving average. Width of 3. Make sure it's visible. If you don't see it, watch this visible check box. Okay. And then now, instead of another simple, we're using an EMA, or an exponential moving average, right? EMA, here it is. You double click on it, you get that, and you set up like this. 89. 89 periods. So you got 200 periods, but this is an exponential, which moves it faster. 89 on each tick. Scale justification is the right side, so it's over there. And guess what? Goldenrod. The width of 3. I expanded that a little bit. All right. Whole moving average. 21 periods. It's yellow, right? Same as the other. Stochastics. 3, 14, and 5. Fill that out. It's on the right. Same colors, right? Same levels. Everybody just take your time. Panel 2. Remember, the other one had like 3 panels. This is only 2. Panel number 2, below the price. You don't want it overriding the price. And that is done. Now, I threw in here another moving average, but you notice you can keep stuff in there. You don't have to show it. Visible, it's not visible. So I had another moving average that is not visible. Now I can remove it if I want. Since I'm not using it, you don't want to tie up your computer's memory. So in this case, I'm going to remove it. And now you apply. Anything you apply, you change. So that sets up the 133 tick. Now, always remember, in you have this bar here, right? This thing that has the tools, positions, executions. This is your workspaces where you save these things. You can save all, and you give it a name, right? And it sets up and saves everything that you've changed. Remember to do that, and do it with 2 different ones in case during the day one changes, you make some changes and you forget what you left. Keep one as your name, let's say, and num with the BAK extension. So you might do 1 and then save, but then you'll go to the same chart and go save as with your name with BAK. So now you got 2. You got like a backup of a backup, and you save that. Okay, so that helps keep you organized, and you don't have to do work all the time. Here is your tick chart. Now what this is, Carrot, TICK, not everybody has it or uses it. It's more of an advanced thing that we follow. You don't really need it in the first 3 months of your trading, but we'll show you what we have. No indicators. This thing is just telling you buying and selling programs. And what it means is, since it's a tick indicator of the New York Stock Exchange, you actually have to go and purchase this data. It's a few dollars each month. It will say this: every stock trades from its previous trade. It could be up or down from its previous trade, not over during overnight. You can have a stock that opens up $3 a share. Okay, it opens up $3 a share. It's up on the day. It's an advancing stock. It adds to the advanced declines. However, if the next trade is up $2.99 from $3, it's a minus tick. This indicator nets out all the up or down ticks of every stock on the New York Stock Exchange and nets it out. So this way, if you get minus 387, you can say, okay, there are rising stocks that went up from its last trade, but 387 more stocks traded down from their last trade, over 4, 5, 6,000 stocks, ETFs and everything else. So it's a snapshot of the general market, and that's all it's doing. And again, this is really all you need on it. All right, it's a tick indicator. On this one, the data series is TICK. It's not the price. So the color for a down bar is red. The color for an up bar is lime green. And again, you make this into a chart style, which is candlestick. So it's a candlestick indicator, right, of 1 minute. It's type on a minute, last trade of 1. The value is 1. 1 minute. You could have 2 minutes. So every minute, it just shows you the number of ticks. It keeps going up and down. When you have up, it's a buy program. Down, it's a sell program. That's what you use. All right, and this other one is really the bids and offers. It's the time and sales. Nothing doing right now because the market's closed. It'll show you how many bid, how many asked or offered. This will end, and of course, the trade. The last trade on this thing at 4:09 p.m. was, again, Eastern time is 34,247. Right? That's the last trade that the market had when we were watching it. So these are your indicators to use on one monitor. I also use 60-minute and daily charts and the order bars and everything else in a separate window so we don't clutter. It's cluttered enough. It's hard to see. If I added stuff in there, you'd never be able to see it. So hopefully this adds everything that you need to set up your charts from beginning to end. And again, if you need us for anything, on the emails and on our website are the phone numbers to get us and the email address. Thanks for your attention to this. And again, we're here to help you make money. These charts will be a step in that right direction. Catch you in the room on Monday.